so fast traveling today, and he won't be calling in, I think. Hello.
Hi, Yuling is here.
How are you doing?
Only us?
Oh, no. Actually, I have Shaoling on the call. Elizabeth on the call.
Brad is here.
Sirat is also there. And I just told me that he would be able to join in the call probably for the first half of the
Jeffrey
call.
will join us later, I think, in a minute.
Oh, he's going to join us later?
I'm not really sure because he's not in office today. But I guess he will call in.
Yeah, he said he'll call in for the first part of the meeting.
Yep.
So as soon as he calls in, I guess we can get started.
Okay.
Hey, this is Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. We were just talking about you. So you live to be 100 years old, according to an old Indian saying. All right. So I guess we can get started then. I just want to read off the names that I see. We have Elizabeth, Nansu, Tim, Jeff, Yuling, and Shaoling and Sirat. Did I miss anybody? No. Okay. I think then we can just quickly talk about. So there are a couple of things I want to talk about. One is the updates on action items that we had ongoing. The other one is the JMIA review, and just wanted to have a brief discussion with regard to the repositories that we are indexing to actually determine how to index some of the repositories that do not have a traditional data set. And then if there are any additional updates, I think we can talk about that from all the team members. So I know everybody's been busy, and I just wanted to remind everybody that we've had a first pass at the data type ontology that Philippe and Alejandra have generated. So could you please take the time and go over this, review it, and get back to them with feedback. The other thing, which is the JMEA review, I think we'll talk about it briefly a little later. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the deployed supplementary that we have, for which we were planning to do the integration. So, Jeff, you want to talk briefly about that?
Yeah, so for the deployed, Barak is finishing the sort of enhancement code piece to add that information to the record. And so I've already been in contact with Xiaoling about, how we're going to name them. And it's sort of extensible in the sense that if we get statistics from any other type of data, we can add it in the same block. So it's sort of block statistical name. So it's, I think we decided on analytics.deployed. Then the name of the field. So that will, make it easy if we have to do any others in the future. It'll all be in the same block. So that should be there shortly. And then I think you mentioned that, then we'd have it on a test server for the all hands meeting demonstration.
Right. I mean, we will try, this is just an FYI, Elizabeth, we will try to get it in on our production server, but right now, once Barak has it in, Xiaoling has to include the code and, update the server. And after she does the updating, we actually want somebody to test it out as well. So maybe we could have a couple of folks test it out. And so that is going to take a little bit of time, and I don't know that we would be done before Monday. So it won't go out with the version 3 release, but for the all hands meeting, for sure we can have it up on the development server. And hopefully we'll have it up on the production server, provided the testing has been done and there are no major bugs because of addition of this extra code.
Okay.
So Anu, can you send me the slides that last time they present how they want as a filter? I think they show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I'll forward the slides to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me write that down so I don't forget it. Maybe we could have somebody from Olivier's team to test it as well, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I think his postdoc could do that.
Okay, and then we could also have somebody from our team internally to test it.
Okay.
So when we are ready for testing, I'll just send an email to everybody.
Okay.
And with the repository discussion, I guess you can come. Jeff, you want to talk about? So let's talk about the JMEA review first, just because I want to talk about it quickly, and then we can. Let me see. I think this is monitor 2. So do you see the DataMed final submission Google Doc?
Yes.
Okay. So, Jeff, I know that Barak put in a figure, right, at the end here?
Yeah. He put in because one of the questions was on metrics, and so we've done, we did some initial tests on, how one actually does, how one can scale with the number of additional nodes. And so he included that, and I think he also added some other text in the section as well.
But I think maybe if you could go over the text and then, because it's not very clear from the text.
Okay.
I mean, this is the text that he has entered in, but, I think it would be nice if you could.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was on
that's-
vacation last week, so I'll get to that. Yeah.
And then also we talked about putting in a link to the spreadsheet, right, and writing about the coverage, about the DAX coverage for the spreadsheet. So I wonder, should we maybe, I could download the spreadsheet that we have currently and say this is a snapshot of the spreadsheet which has the coverage, but we probably need some text to talk about how DAX coverage is, how good DAX coverage is for the various repositories.
Yeah, I don't know if we want the full spreadsheet or if we want to just do sort of a summary, in terms of, number of repositories that meet, various criteria.
So if you think we need to summarize it, then I would have to ask if you could take care of that, because I'm not sure what the criteria would be that you would actually summarize it on. And then if you have, in a specific field, if you have, multiple subfields, right?
Yeah, we could easily just count across the repositories, who has what fields. That's a simple spreadsheet function. That will at least get us we could get a percentage, of repositories that provide, that metadata.
Also, you just want to count across all fields and not necessarily subdivide them.
When I look at the paper, I'll take a pass at that.
Okay.
And I can see if something sort of hits me when I do the stats.
Right. So, and I also think we probably need to change the language a little bit for the ingestion, because that was one of the things for the paragraph where we are explaining the ingestion pipeline.
Okay.
So if you could take care of that, then actually I hadn't gotten to this, to working on the DataMed yet, but I will work on it. So Xiaoling and I will try and finalize everything else, and we can try and send it out to the whole team and the EC as well. Just so if anybody has any comments, they can get back to us, because we have to submit this by 5th of August. So do you have an idea of when you would be able to take a look at this, Jeff?
Not today because I'm on calls all day. Tuesday is a really bad day. But probably either tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay. So that was just what I wanted to talk about. Also, thanks to everybody who did the testing, and to Xiaoling and Firat for taking care of all the bugs and, for responding back to all the comments. We actually started testing on the 17th of July, and we got it completed on Friday. So Xiaoling and Firat, are we done with all the bug fixing, or are there things that we did not fix?
Yeah, I think for the bugs, we fixed all of the reported bugs. Some of our like comments, feedback, like it's not about bugs. It's like
it is like post analyzing the pages. So
yeah.
we focused on the bugs, and I think we
right. So the comments which were like feedback in general, can we kind of have that added to the GitHub as issues which can be addressed later?
Yeah. We can do that.
Because I think there's a link anyways from Trello that you can just go directly to add the issues.
To the GitHub.
To the GitHub, yeah.
Okay.
So that way we won't forget the feedback that we received. All right. Thank you so much. So maybe now we could talk about the repositories that Jeff wanted to bring up. Jeff, do you want to just?
Yeah. So I mean, last week, mentioned that there were some repositories that didn't seem to have quote unquote, data sets as their record. So a good example of that is BioGrid, which is listings of interactions. And so the question is, last week, one of the question was how to represent that. And so, one, there's sort of two possibilities for that, and I think we just need to figure out which one, we need to decide upon. But one is, for example, we could bin it, we could bin, the interactions by, paper, for example, by, the paper they were extracted from, which is a little more granular. But you'd have to then have you'd have to make up a title, make up a description. So the title would have to be something like interactions extracted from, and then, either, the PubMed and PubMed ID or the title of the paper, however we want to do that. The second method would be, they actually do have sort of discrete large download data sets that you have. So for the smaller ones, there's no real URL for that specific data set because they're part of these larger downloads. So that's one of the issues with a more granular approach. For the larger data sets, then it would be almost a handwritten record, right? Because they have a name that they give it, and they might have a description on the website about what it is. But again, that's basically copying and pasting text into a specific record, for that data set. So it's more of a manual creation of the record. But in that case, you're only creating, like for BioGrid, I think you might be creating 6 data sets, if I remember correctly. And so we just need to figure out what the strategy for that is. So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts or ideas or.
So this is only for BioGrid, or is this like a generic?
Well, there's some others too, like for like some of the mods have this as well, where there are some data sets in there. But I can generate a list of some that are sort of in that vein.
Because I think if it's just for one repository, then we can go with something that would make sense for that repository. But if it's for multiple repositories, then maybe we should look at all the repositories and then figure out what the best route would be, right?
Yeah, for the more granular approach, that would have to be done on a repository by repository basis, right? Because there you're trying to figure out what's the way to chunk the large data sets. Whereas if it's just a downloadable data file, then it's sort of a manual entry of that information. And then so a repository would have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of these, depending on how many downloadable data sets they have. Anyway, what I can do is this week I can generate. I think Yuling has a list of some of these, so we can generate a list and we can forward it to you and you.
Yeah, I think maybe if you can send it out to the CVP, that will also work. But I just wonder if maybe we shouldn't bring this up with the EC to see whether, because these are not really traditional data sets. Right?
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
So I don't
No, we can
even
do
know.
that. I can put that in a slide for next Tuesday. So we have a meeting next Tuesday, right?
Lucilla may or may not be traveling that day, so I'm still figuring out. Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, we can send it around via email. So.
Yeah, I think that would be good, because if it's like a general approach that we need to decide on, and if it's not a traditional data set, then I think it would be good to get the EC's input on it.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Anyway, I'm going to have to drop off and get on another call.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye. Oh, okay. So Yuling, can you let Jeff or Brock know? We talked about this last week and the week before, I think, and we also contacted Lucilla. She said she's okay with making all the codes open on GitHub. So I've asked Xiaoling to take a look at all the codes to ensure that we have no, sensitive information. Yeah?
Anu, can you just repeat what you said? Because Brock is beside me now. Okay.
Yeah, so Brock has code in GitHub that he put in there. Is Brock there?
Yeah.
Brock. Oh, hi, Brock.
Hi.
So you remember that you put in some of the code, or most the ingestion and indexing codes into GitHub. Are those updated?
Yeah. It is updated. Like it's always that code has basically like the automatic like tests which checks like when it's always like up to date. I mean it's up to date in this sense. Like we have like some additional code. I have like another repository which is for SciCrunch. And which has some additional code. I don't check that part, but the rest, all the Bioacademy related code and are all updated.
Okay, that's great. So what I asked Xiaoling to double check on our end is to ensure that any code that we have in the Bioacademy organization, if we have private repos there, we want to ensure that we are able to open them up as public resources, because that's. So I just want.
Yeah, the code I have like for Foundry, it's already public.
So that's it, right? I mean, you're okay then with that.
It's already public. I mean, like the code I have, like I mean, in the Bioacademy is already a public repository.
Okay. So because I just want to make sure that we have no sensitive information before we make the repository public.
Yeah. I mean,
so
it doesn't
so my
have like
question.
passwords and
So should we also open up the data pipeline repository?
The data
pipeline repository that Yuling and everybody else uses to pull in the sample data, make the transformations, and have the transformation script as well as the configuration files, I guess.
I think I have no objections. The only thing is like if we make it like a kind of like a read only, so that they don't alter our code.
Okay.
That way, because like if something changes without us knowing, we will like hunt what the problem is unnecessarily.
Right. Okay. And Xiaoling, can you kind of make sure that the NLP code and the BioCADI core UI repos code is all fine.
Okay.
And then also the benchmarking, right? We're gonna have to kind of double check. So maybe I don't know if Ergen has time. I wonder if Virat can check maybe the term builder that Ergen set up. There's a repository called the term builder and ICDev.
Oh, I see that. Is it also in the GitHub?
Yeah, that's also in the GitHub. And then we have the data rank. I think we won't make the submit repository management thing open. And I think at this point of time we probably don't need to make the the ontology data type ontology that we are working on. But the rest of them we probably need to make it open, so public repos.
Okay. When will it be open? When will we open?
Before, I think by the time we submit it, we need to make it open.
Okay.
So maybe if we can take care of this before the 5th of August, that's good enough.
Okay.
Is there? I think actually that's probably about everything that we actually wanted to talk about. Is there anything else that we should discuss?
There was one thing. I forgot to forward it to you, Anu, up until right when the meeting started. But there's a group, let's see.
I see your email.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who the best contact person would be, but the Cloud Credit pilot from BD2K has some technical questions about DataMed, and they're asking for someone at BioCADI to help them answer their questions.
So do we know what kind? Let me see if we know what kind of technical questions.
No.
Metadata fields of digital objects. So what does that mean?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So maybe we could, Jeff and I can talk to them.
Okay.
Anyway, since you forwarded it, I'll reply back.
Okay.
Maybe Lucilla can reply back too.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let her know that you and Jeff are probably the best contact people until we get more information.
Yeah, about what exactly they want, because I'm not really sure what the context is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And is there anything else? Does anybody else have anything that they want to discuss? If not, then we actually will finish really early today. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.